I'm just kind of ready for the next chapter and a new challenge in my life, but I think the reason I decided to announce it when I did was just to have that closure.
Just moments ago, Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, and Lexie Hull stunned fans with a massive announcement that's sending shockwaves through the world of women's basketball. Standing side by side, the trio revealed a bold new move that no one saw coming, reshaping the future of the league, igniting fan excitement, and catching even insiders off guard. From career-shifting decisions to powerful statements of unity, this isn't just news. It's a game changer. What did they say that's turning heads everywhere? Stay tuned, because this announcement is bigger than anyone expected. A game-changing move in the WNBA. On July 8, 2025, an unexpected alliance between three of the WNBA's most talked-about figures sent shockwaves through the league. Caitlin Clark, 2024 top draft pick, whose rookie season reignited national interest in women's basketball, joined forces with Phoenix Mercury veteran Sophie Cunningham and Indiana Fever's rising star Lexie Hull. The trio didn't just meet for a casual chat. What insiders are calling a coordinated reveal unfolded behind the scenes at the Indiana Fever training facility, sparking urgent conversations from locker rooms to boardrooms. What brought these three together, each from different teams and at vastly different stages in their careers, isn't just about personal ambition. Their united front hints at a far larger movement taking shape, one aimed at reshaping the very foundation of women's professional basketball. This comes at a critical time when the WNBA is experiencing an all-time high in audience numbers, sponsorship deals, and global attention. Yet behind the scenes, players continue to raise long-standing concerns over pay, career longevity, and the business side of the game. Clark brings unmatched star power and a wave of fresh fan energy. Cunningham offers the grit, wisdom, and hard-earned respect of a seasoned vet. And Hull, though early in her journey, symbolizes the potential of tomorrow's league. Together, their collective influence points to something bigger, possibly new demands around player rights, better pay structures, improved working conditions, or even a new players' initiative designed to protect and elevate careers from draft day to retirement. Whatever it is, their timing is no accident, and the basketball world is paying close attention. This alliance is also notable for how it bridges generational gaps and team rivalries, showing a level of unity that could change how decisions are made across the league. The trio's efforts appear to signal not only a demand for fairness and opportunity, but also a call to reshape how the WNBA values its players, not just in marketing, but in long-term investment. Their meeting comes just as talks heat up around league expansion, television rights, and CBA negotiations. If these three are stepping forward now, it's likely because they believe their collective leverage can finally move the needle in a way that benefits all players, past, present, and future. Adding urgency to this moment is the growing influence of players as brand ambassadors, social advocates, and now, possibly, as policy changemakers. Caitlin Clark's sold-out arenas and record-breaking TV ratings haven't just drawn in fans. They've attracted corporate dollars and media attention that once bypassed the league. Cunningham's years of navigating off-season contracts overseas lend a voice of experience to players' long-standing frustrations about financial sustainability. And Hull, with her Stanford pedigree and fresh entry into the league, represents the voice of a generation still figuring out how to build a life around basketball. Together, they may be writing the first chapter of a new era, where visibility leads not only to sponsorships, but to structural change that truly secures the future of women's basketball. And what exactly are these stars planning? And could it redefine the WNBA forever? Stay tuned, you won't want to miss this. When star power meets purpose. As the 2025 WNBA season nears, anticipation builds, but not just about scores or standings. Off the court, a different kind of game-changing momentum is quietly building. On July 8th, at the Indiana Fever training facility, a strategic gathering between Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, and Lexie Hull hinted at something far more lasting than a buzzer-beater win. Sources close to the league suggest that this trio is preparing to take a bold step, one that targets the root of inequality in women's professional basketball. At the heart of their cause is a long-standing issue: player salaries. Despite the growing popularity and media attention around the WNBA, even top-tier athletes often earn a fraction of what their talent generates for the league. Clark's arrival in 2024 shifted that reality. Her presence has packed arenas, driven up TV ratings past the million-viewer mark, and sparked record-breaking merchandise sales. Simply put, Caitlin Clark has become the WNBA's biggest financial engine. And yet, like her peers, she still operates under a restrictive salary cap that undervalues her influence. Clark's massive social media following and commercial reach rival, and sometimes exceed, those of male athletes in far bigger leagues. That alone gives her a powerful voice. Add in Cunningham's leadership and Hull's rising influence, and you have a coalition capable of challenging outdated systems. Their effort, insiders say, could go far beyond personal gains. It may aim to raise standards for player compensation, working conditions, and league-wide policies that impact every athlete wearing a WNBA jersey, rookie or veteran. And if successful, their movement could become a blueprint for the next era of women's sports. What makes this even more impactful is the timing. With the WNBA experiencing historic growth in viewership and revenue, these three players are stepping forward at a moment when the league is most ready for evolution. Their collaboration could spark not just reforms, but a cultural shift, one where athletes have a stronger voice in shaping the business, branding, and structure of the game. By linking their influence with strategic goals, they're proving that true power in sports isn't just about stats. It's about changing the system for those who come next. So, how could this quiet movement rewrite the rules for every WNBA player? Stay tuned. This changes everything. The mission behind the movement. As the spotlight intensifies on Caitlin Clark's every move, a deeper question begins to surface. How will she use this rare level of influence to push the game forward for everyone? Her rookie season didn't just light up highlight reels, it shifted the entire business of the WNBA. But now, insiders say Clark is looking beyond individual records and endorsements. Behind the scenes in Indiana, her conversations with Sophie Cunningham and Lexie Hull appear to be laying the groundwork for something much bigger than personal milestones. Clark's visibility, both on the court and across media platforms, gives her the kind of leverage few women's basketball players have ever had. And she seems to understand that power means responsibility. The issues are nothing new: limited salaries, challenging travel conditions, and a lack of long-term growth support. But Clark's participation in what could be a joint player-led initiative suggests she sees her success as a doorway, not just a destination. Sophie Cunningham, meanwhile, brings the grit and perspective of someone who's lived the full spectrum of the WNBA experience. From battling through tight paychecks to spending off-seasons overseas just to make ends meet, the Phoenix Mercury veteran has seen firsthand how the current system forces players to choose between passion and survival. She's played under outdated rules and limited exposure, yet helped shape the rising visibility the league now enjoys. Her global experience, combined with years of union advocacy, positions her as a steady voice pushing for change that works in practice, not just on paper. Together, Clark's momentum and Cunningham's wisdom create a rare alignment. With Lexie Hull representing the league's future, the trio's collaboration may be exactly what the WNBA needs to turn rising attention into lasting transformation, finally. How did this unlikely trio become the WNBA's biggest hope for lasting change? Keep watching to find out more truth. The bridge between generations. Sophie Cunningham's voice in this unfolding movement carries the weight of experience, season after season, spent pushing through the limits of a system that often gave too little back. She's not just a veteran player traded to the Indiana Fever. She's part of the fabric that helped lift the WNBA from overlooked to headline-worthy. Her presence alongside Caitlin Clark isn't just symbolic, it's strategic. Together, they form a rare blend of legacy and momentum, a living example of what happens when past struggles meet future promise. Analysts are already noting what this union could mean. Cunningham's willingness to join forces with younger stars like Clark and Lexie Hull signals something powerful. A bridging of generations inside a league that desperately needs it. It's a reminder that growth isn't about one era replacing another, but about building something stronger together. And then there's Hull, the Stanford standout and 6th overall pick in the 2022 WNBA draft. Young enough to still be carving her path, but wise enough to see the cracks in the system. Her experience at one of the most elite women's basketball programs gave her a front-row seat to what structured support can achieve. Now in Indiana, sharing the court with Clark and Cunningham, she brings a rising generation's voice to the table, one that echoes the hopes and concerns of dozens of young players trying to build long-term careers in a league still fighting for full recognition. Hull represents more than talent. She symbolizes transition. Her decisions about whether to seek stability overseas, pursue off-season opportunities, or fight for change here at home reflect what many young WNBA players quietly wrestle with. And her inclusion in this growing initiative suggests that those quiet concerns may finally be getting a louder, united voice. So how does their next move reveal what countless WNBA players are silently struggling with? Stay tuned to find out. One voice, many journeys. A united stand for lasting change. What makes this unfolding moment so unique isn't just the names involved. It's the timing and the unity across different stages of the professional journey. Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, and Lexie Hull are not just three talented athletes. They are a cross-section of the WNBA itself. Rookie promise, veteran leadership, and rising future. Their partnership suggests that what's happening behind closed doors is bigger than any one player or team. It hints at a deliberate push to reshape the very structure of women's professional basketball. Their collaboration seems to go beyond personal goals, aiming instead at deeply rooted issues that players across the league have faced for years: low salaries, limited earning windows, and the constant need to look overseas for financial stability. Clark's star power brings headlines and cameras, but coupled with Cunningham's battle-tested experience and Hull's generational insight, this trio forms a coalition that commands both attention and credibility. Past examples in professional sports have shown that real change often begins when players across backgrounds come together, using collective strength to demand better. From NBA lockouts to the US WNT equal pay fight, the pattern is clear. Solidarity fuels reform. And now, with the WNBA gaining historic momentum in viewership, merchandise, and media exposure, the time may finally be right for players to reimagine their value. Though the current collective bargaining agreement offers some protections and improvements, players still voice frustration about capped salaries and a lack of long-term security. As international leagues in Europe and Asia continue to offer more lucrative contracts, this global contrast only amplifies the pressure on WNBA leadership to evolve. With the game growing faster than ever and commercial value soaring, the window for real structural reform may be opening wider than it ever has before. And how did overseas leagues quietly outpace the WNBA in pay? Stay glued to see what happens next. Timing, influence, and the future at stake. As excitement builds around the new WNBA season, fans are already asking the big questions. Can this team go all the way? Is this the year Indiana Fever finally becomes the team to beat? But behind the chatter about rosters and rivalries, something far more transformative is taking shape. The timing of the recent joint announcement involving Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, and Lexie Hull couldn't be more significant. It aligns with major shifts underway in women's basketball, expansion talks, long-term broadcast deals, and crucial decisions about the league's future direction. For players, this is more than just a season, it's a turning point. With the spotlight burning brighter than ever, the opportunity for athlete-led advocacy has never been stronger. This new era mirrors successful movements in other sports, where athletes have used their platforms to push for fairer pay, better working conditions, and a seat at the decision-making table. What makes this moment unique is how modern players now control their own message. Social media has given them direct access to millions of fans and the power to shape public conversation. Clark, whose online following rivals top athletes in global sports, has the ability to spark that conversation at scale. But real change doesn't come from one voice alone, it comes from unity. And that's exactly what this collaboration signals. Hull and Cunningham add layers of credibility, representing the past struggles and the emerging generation that will inherit whatever this moment produces. With the league's rapid growth, rising ratings, packed arenas, and renewed corporate interest, the players are positioned to shape more than just games. They're helping write the rulebook for what women's professional basketball will look like for years to come. And every decision made now could echo through generations still waiting for their shot. That's when three voices rose above the noise. Could they be rewriting the future of the WNBA? Keep watching. A turning point for the game and beyond. With Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, and Lexie Hull stepping forward together, curiosity now centers on what exactly they're aiming to change and how far their vision truly reaches. Their influence isn't just impressive, it's unmatched in the current landscape of women's professional basketball. And now, in July 2025, their partnership arrives at a critical turning point for the WNBA. A league that's gaining popularity faster than ever, yet still wrestling with deep-rooted structural issues that have remained unresolved for decades. The movement these three athletes seem to represent could address urgent concerns, issues that WNBA players have raised again and again: low salaries, tough travel schedules, limited off-season support. These problems aren't new, but the voices now calling them out have never been louder or more influential. Clark, in her second season with the Indiana Fever, is not just a basketball star. She's a media powerhouse. Her ability to consistently draw record-breaking crowds, push television ratings past the million mark, and drive merchandise sales has made her one of the most commercially valuable players in the league's history. When someone with that kind of platform steps up to join forces with veteran voices like Sophie Cunningham, who brings years of hard-earned experience navigating the ups and downs of professional women's basketball, and rising leaders like Lexie Hull, the message becomes impossible to ignore. They're not just fighting for themselves, they're standing up for every player, past, present, and future, who deserves a chance at a sustainable, respected career. But what makes this initiative even more compelling is its potential to stretch beyond the borders of the WNBA itself. If successful, the impact could ripple across all of women's sports, from professional soccer and tennis to track and field and Olympic competition. The questions these athletes are raising touch on universal issues: equity, representation, fair compensation, and long-term athlete development. In many ways, they're speaking not just as basketball players, but as pioneers in a broader movement that seeks to redefine the future of women in sports. Meanwhile, corporate sponsors and media giants are watching closely. The recent surge in investment, streaming deals, televised games, branded content, and sold-out arenas means the money is flowing into women's basketball like never before. But the real test lies in distribution. Will those profits be reinvested in the players who generate them? Will this surge of attention lead to better facilities, more flexible contracts, and post-career resources that athletes desperately need? Caitlin Clark's ability to turn attention into action is undeniable. Her massive social media following and mainstream appeal have already brought in fans who might never have watched a WNBA game before. Her presence has proven what's possible when women's sports are marketed seriously and consistently. That momentum has real value. But the challenge now is converting that temporary excitement into lasting, player-driven progress. This unified front, Clark's star power, Cunningham's veteran voice and Hull's emerging leadership may be exactly the force needed to push the conversation beyond applause and into action. Because visibility matters, but only if it's followed by real change. And what they've started could turn fame into real power. Could this reshape women's basketball forever? Stay with us to find out. The deeper impact of a united voice. As Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, and Lexie Hull continue to draw attention with their groundbreaking alliance, it's becoming clear that their vision stretches far beyond the court. This isn't just about higher salaries or better travel accommodations. It's about rewriting the future of women's basketball from the inside out. Their announcement, quietly timed in July 2025, during a period of massive growth for the WNBA, is stirring real questions. What specific changes are they fighting for? And how far could their influence reach? One possible answer lies in areas that rarely grab headlines: career development, educational outreach, and community impact. These are the cornerstones of long-term sustainability in women's sports. While fans focus on game stats and playoff dreams, the players themselves are imagining a bigger game, one where every athlete, not just the stars, can build a stable future in the league they love. That means improved training facilities, better medical care, and structured career transitions for life after basketball. International play adds another layer. Many WNBA players spend off-seasons overseas, where paychecks are bigger and support systems more robust. Their exposure to alternative league models, from Europe to Asia, has widened the conversation about what's truly possible for women's basketball back home. Clark's generation, informed by this global outlook, isn't content with tradition. They want transformation. And with today's media landscape, the players no longer have to wait for a press conference or news outlet to tell their story. Social media gives them the tools to rally public support, spotlight issues, and drive pressure where it counts. But turning attention into real progress takes more than retweets. It requires careful planning, legal awareness, and coordination with the Players Association. If their movement is to succeed, it must blend emotional momentum with concrete, achievable goals that can be embedded within the league's current structure. Corporate sponsors, fans, and broadcasters are all watching closely. The WNBA's commercial momentum has created new revenue streams, but players are now asking the most important question: will this money uplift the entire league or only the most visible stars? Their collaboration suggests a push for fairness, visibility, and lasting change, one built on unity, not ego. The movement's power lies in its diversity. Clark's visibility, Cunningham's experience, Hull's emerging voice, all aligned at a rare, strategic moment. Together, they might just have the perfect combination to challenge the old system and shape something far more inclusive, sustainable, and powerful. So, what do you think? Could this powerful alliance between Clark, Cunningham, and Hull finally spark real change in the WNBA? We'd like to hear your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.